So we were concerned about our performance against Seattle and how we would come out this weekend against Victoria, and I think we were pleasantly surprised.
Definitely in the first game.
The second game was like a playoff game.
That was a great game.
I mean, just a great overall performance. Both goalies standing on their heads, and
Yeah.
it's, Chiefs pick up a huge 4 points on Vancouver Island. How was your weekend? First of all,
Uneventful.
same here.
Yeah, which is always a good way to have it.
I still have another day in mind. We are recording this on Sunday.
That's true.
I'm off Sunday, Monday, so I still got another day, but we're celebrating with some Pacifico. So
Nice. I'm having a little juice. Let's just call it juice.
juice.
Juice. Yeah, and what did we do tonight when the Chiefs weren't playing?
Yeah, got on and watched Portland and Everett play. Each team playing their third game in 3 nights, and
Another great game.
another great game to watch. I was telling you a little bit ago. It's like I forgot how much fun it is this time of year when your team is good. Watching, scoreboard watching and constantly checking the scoreboard, watching other teams' games and everything.
Oh, absolutely.
And your team is chasing another team in the standings. With I
Hmm.
think 5 games left in the regular season now. I mean, just a really great game to watch between two tired teams, but
Yeah.
they definitely didn't look tired out there.
No, not until they got to overtime. The 4-on-4 in the overtime with the carryover penalty was pretty sloppy, but
It was. So I really wish that Portland could have pulled that out in regulation, so Everett didn't get any points. But Portland did end up getting the victory in the shootout.
yeah.
So the Chiefs sitting right now at 6 points behind Everett with 2 games remaining against the Silvertips, including our next game coming up here on Wednesday at the arena.
When's the
Expect that
last
to be
time
a
you
pretty big game.
When's the last time you rooted for Portland in any game?
I don't think I ever have.
Exactly.
I don't think I
Exactly.
ever have.
Exactly.
I despise that franchise so much, but
And that Portland game got them tied with Tri Cities, I think, too. What they were saying,
Vancouver, they tied with
or
Vancouver because
Vancouver, excuse me.
Vancouver had won tonight against Prince George, ending
Yeah,
their winning streak as well.
yeah. So we still don't know who we're going to end up playing.
Yeah, I mean, it honestly could come down to the final game of the season before we figure
Yeah,
that out.
yeah.
Um, Playoffs starting April 1st for us because of the NCAA tournament, but so we'll have, a little bit of extra time even to prepare for
Hmm.
whichever team we end up playing, which I think will kind of benefit us in the long run. But
Yeah,
yeah, like I said, we have 5 regular season games left, and it very well could come down to the very last game down in Tri-City before we
hmm,
figure out who we're playing.
yeah,
Because those three teams are all within 2 points of each other: Tri-City, Portland, Vancouver, and then the Chiefs are sitting 6 behind Everett right now. I mean, it's a very good possibility that we could catch them too.
yeah. It's crazy.
And especially if we win at least one of these games against the Tips, then we will win the season series and hold the tiebreaker over Everett too.
Hmm.
So that kind of puts us technically, within 2 more points of Everett
Hmm.
as well because we have that tiebreaker. So really exciting stuff and a lot of different scenarios going on. Kind of racking my brain and keeping my mind sharp. But um, yeah, it's been really fun scoreboard watching and watching Everett play other teams and not just watching the Chiefs. Obviously, watching the Chiefs play and win is awesome, but just love this time of year.
Yeah, no, it's been a while.
Yeah, for real. It's been five, 6 years.
It seems like it's been even longer, even though it hasn't.
Yeah, I know. It really does though. It feels like it's been a long time,
Yeah,
but
the
um,
last few years wore us down as fans for sure.
yeah. So Friday night, first of 2 games on Vancouver Island. The Chiefs playing shorthanded once again without Mathis Preston serving the second game of his suspension,
Hmm.
questionable suspension.
Yes, this
Um,
yes.
and then Owen Martin going out with an injury on Saturday against Seattle.
Hmm.
I kind of watched the play happen. Kind of looked. I mean, it was a hard hit by the Seattle player, but it didn't look like it was anything crazy. Just kind of hit him just right and bruised him up. He went back to the locker room for about 3 or 4 minutes and then came back out and played the rest of the first period. But then didn't come back the rest of the game. And I see on the injury report he's out week to week again. So I'm
Yeah.
really hoping it's something that he can bounce back quickly from, and it's not anything too crazy. Um, so the Chiefs 2 forwards short. We had 11 and 7 dressed on Friday.
Hmm.
Cam Parr and Cohen Harris, the extra attackers. the Chiefs came out really strong, setting a new franchise record.
Yes.
This guy seems to be breaking all of our records the last couple
Well,
of
why
seasons for,
not?
I mean, and I will say that I think he had the best game of any Chief overall, both games this weekend.
Yeah.
Rasmus Ekstrom,
Yeah.
scoring 11 seconds into the first period in that first game in Victoria, breaking the Chiefs franchise record for fastest goal to start a game.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, I think he really just he stood out to me all weekend.
Yeah. He was
He
my player of the week or the weekend for
absolutely
sure. Yeah.
he was moving the puck well, moving his feet, just doing all the little things right, and he scored both games as well. So
Hmm.
it's nice to see him putting the puck in the back of the net, and I think that's going to be a huge confidence booster because that's a guy that you need out there, especially this time of year.
No, seems like he's gearing himself up for the playoffs.
Which is good. I'm sure he's got to be excited. He came here
Yeah.
last year in the early parts of the season, and the Chiefs were better last year than they were the year prior, but still not a contender by any means.
Right.
But now we're second or third best team in the entire league.
Yeah.
It's got to feel good for him and for a lot of those other guys that were on the team last year
Oh,
to be
absolutely.
in the position that they're in.
Yeah.
It's
No,
kind of got to motivate them a little bit.
he seems like he's gearing up, and he played with some new line mates the last couple of games too. They seem to have a little jump into the step doing that too.
Yeah, it was cool to see Smith Redmond thrown back up on that second line with Rass and Sarkinov. I think
Hmm.
that line really clicked well. Um, but yeah,
Out
so
there with Crystal a little bit looked good too. Both games.
yeah, that was last night. They switched those lines up a
Yeah.
lot because the Chiefs really couldn't get anything going for a while. Um, but yeah, really nice to see that goal 11 seconds into the game, and then I mean, first period it was all Chiefs. Nothing that Victoria could do to kind of slow us
No.
down. Andrew Crystal scoring his 43rd goal of the season about halfway through the first period, and then 3 minutes later, Will McIsaac scoring a shorthanded goal on a nice little 3-on-1
Hmm.
with Omer and Crystal, and then 20 seconds later, Braden Crampton comes out of the penalty box and he gets hit on a breakaway. A great feed from Will
Great
McIsaac,
pass.
and just sniped it over the goalie's blocker. And then 9 seconds later on the power play, Berkeley Catton getting his 37th of the year. So that sets another Chiefs franchise record for fastest three goals in
Oh,
franchise
was it? I
history.
didn't realize that.
29 seconds, fastest three goals ever scored in Chiefs
Wow.
history. So the Chiefs breaking two franchise records in the first period of that game against
That's
Victoria.
crazy.
Just awesome. I
Yeah.
mean, a historic game for those guys. And then Andrew Crystal also getting his 400th WHL point
That's
in that game as
bananas
well.
to me.
I think that said there's a first player since like 1999 to do that, first player in this century.
And do you know who that was? I don't know who it
I
was.
can't remember who it was.
And I did hear today on something only the seventh player in league history to ever hit 400, just overall too.
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah, let me
I was wondering who that was. That from it was 99 or 2000. I thought.
let's Google it really quick. Um,
I figure it's going to be a name we know, but who knows?
a lot of articles about him. Holy cow. Yeah, 33rd player all time to record 400 points in the WHL.
I thought it said.
Um,
I thought I heard seventh.
33rd, which is I mean it's just insane.
That is.
That's an insane number of points. That's for the 21st century. Man, so the CHL listed a top 10 list of players who scored the most points in the 21st century so far.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty interesting names on this list. Andrew Crystal obviously leading. Jordan Wheel played for Regina. Riley Height for Prince George still plays for Prince George. I
Mm-hmm.
said it with 359. Nick Patan, Brennan Ranford, Justin Fazer, nice little chunk of Tri-City Americans here. Justin Fazer, Adam Huseman, and Colton Yellowhorn.
Really?
And then Ty Ratty and Chris St. Jacques. Never heard that one before. But
Hmm.
yeah, I'm trying to find in this article here who it was. But I had seen it somewhere, but I can't
I hadn't
remember who it
heard
was.
anything. Yeah. No. Well, kudos to him. That's pretty amazing. 400 points
I
in a career in a league is amazing.
I mean, in all honesty, like I said, with that game, it was just a historic game for the Chiefs itself, and then Crystal too, obviously, with
Hmm.
breaking all those records and everything too. But yeah, just really really awesome stuff. Only took Crystal 242 games to do that.
That's crazy too.
He's tied 30th all time in assists in the WHL as well, and is
Wow.
one of two active players with over 150 career goals. Just crazy stuff. I mean, it's been such a nice addition for the Chiefs for
No, yeah,
the last half of the season.
for sure.
It's paid off for everybody. I think. I think it's kind of boosted everybody up a little bit having a
Hmm.
guy like that. And just watching him play out there, he's just so creative and so smart with the puck, and he can do a lot of things that other people can't. So it's fun watching him and Catton together.
Ken put it in a pretty good perspective when we interviewed him too, and he said that Crystal slows the game down.
Yeah, and it's true. I mean,
It is, yeah.
you watch him carry the puck up the ice. He always cuts across the blue line and then just stops and looks, and he doesn't matter who's at coming at him. He'll find you.
Hmm.
And it's insane the amount of points that he's put up in a Chiefs sweater so far.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, that's another thing that I kind of want to look up really quick is like how many points he has as a Chief so far. Because I mean, he's
Yeah,
got to only
he's been
played.
here 2 months tomorrow.
So as a Chief, 24. This is fucking insane. 24 games, 18 assists, 40 or 18 goals, 43 assists
Wow.
in 24 games, 61 points. He's already got more points with the
So
Chiefs this year than he did with Kelowna in the first half.
that's almost 3 points a game.
That is insane.
Yeah,
That is crazy. He's on pace this year to put up 48 goals and 84 assists.
that's bananas.
Just crazy. Yeah, again, what a great guy to have on your
Yeah,
team.
yeah.
But anyway, we'll go back to the recap. So 5-0 after the first period. Keaton Verhoff, the really, really good 16-year-old defenseman from
Hmm.
Victoria, um, scores his 19th goal of the season. That was a record as well. I don't know
Yeah, I
if that
saw
was
that.
I think that was a WHL record. Most goals by a 16-year-old defenseman.
Yes.
Um, 19th goal of the season. That's a guy that's going to go high in the draft in a few years as well.
Hmm.
So Victoria gets in within 5-1. That was the only goal in the second period. A minute into the third period on the power play, Berkeley Catton with his 38th goal of the season. So it's 6-1 at that point, and then a minute and a half later, Nathan Mays with the simple little shot off the boards that found its way in to make it 7-1, and then Keaton Verhoff scores another goal to get his 20th of the season
20th.
for
Yeah.
Victoria. So it's 7-2 at that point, and then the Chiefs put the final couple daggers in late in the game. Chase Harrington with a nice tip of a Braden Crampton shot, and then Andrew Crystal with a wide open net on a little mistake made by the goaltender, and picked
Hmm.
up his second of the night and 44th of the year. So just a great all around game for those
Yeah.
guys. I mean, I was talking to some of my buddies after the first period, and it's like, well, this game's over. You guys ready to play games now?
Hmm.
I was like, I mean, yeah, I mean, I'm good to just kind of have it on in the background at this point. We're already at 5-0 after one.
Yeah.
Um, what were you feeling overall? Were you watching any of the game?
Yeah. Just again, kind of back to those games where everything's clicking and the effort was there. It was another 60-minute effort.
It really was.
That's what I enjoyed out of it too. But I think when you have that effort, good things happen to you a lot of times too. And I felt that that's what was happening for us. A lot of the stuff was just going in. I mean, like you said, 3 goals in 39 seconds. Um,
Yeah.
and I wouldn't say we just forced the issue and Everett looked dead out there. Just that Cowan played good and stopped their shots, and our shots went in. It was pleasantly surprised to see. I didn't expect it for the second game. I expected it to be a different type of a game, but it was fun to
Yeah.
watch.
It was. It's nice seeing the power play connecting 2 for 5 on the power play, 4 for 5 on the penalty kill, out shooting them 44-30. So yeah, Cowan, he did play a good game. I
Mm-hmm.
like we talked about last week. I kind of expected him to play both games, and he did
Mm-hmm.
end up playing both games. And I think he had a really strong showing, especially in the second game
Yes.
against Victoria. He kept us in that game and made a couple of huge saves. It very well we could have lost that game easily,
Yes.
but thanks to Cowan, we didn't. So yeah, obviously Victoria is not going to want to let that 9-2 outcome happen 2 games in a row against us, and we know how hard it is, going into another team's building and beating them back-to-back games.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Victoria starts the same goalie, Johnny Hicks, that they started the game before as well, and they came out flying in the first period.
Yeah, they did.
They outshot the Chiefs 17-6 in the first period.
That was
Chiefs
been.
really looked flat in
Mm-hmm.
the first period, and Dawson
Mm-hmm.
Cowan, being the
He sa-
goalie he is, bailed
he
us
saved
out.
our bacon. Yeah,
Yeah,
he
bailed
did.
us out a ton. Um, the only 2 goals in the game in the first period. Rasmus Ekstrom once again picking
Mm-hmm.
up his 23rd goal of the season, and another just a simple little snipe from the left circle
Mm-hmm.
after some good forechecking by Coco Armstrong. I really like Coco
Coco
up
played
there
good
with those
last night.
guys too.
Yeah.
So with that game late in the game on Friday, Smith Redmond went down again.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of an awkward fall that I noticed on replay. He was kind of just attacking the puck on the back check and just kind of lot like I don't know if he toe picked or if he just kind of slipped and he kind of spun awkwardly and landed awkwardly on his arm and then he immediately threw his stick and gloves down and went straight to the locker room.
Yeah.
So you hate to see that, but it
Yeah.
sounded like on the pregame show that Boyle said he just kind of re-aggravated his injury a tiny bit, and they're just kind of giving him a day or a couple days to rest it up,
Good.
which is good. But so Coco Armstrong was back on that second line with Rass and Sarkey, and then Mathis Preston back in the lineup too, obviously. So it's nice to
Mm-hmm.
get him back out there, another body. So what Chiefs once again playing 11-7. But yeah, Ekstrom scores the first goal of the game about 8 minutes into the first period. Cole Reshny with a nice backhander to answer for Victoria, 12 minutes in, 13 minutes in. And that was all the scoring in the game.
Mm-hmm.
From then on, the teams kind of buckled down defensively, and each goaltender made a couple of huge saves.
Both goalies played really good. It was like
John,
watching a playoff game.
it really was. It was chippy. It was physical. A lot of, post whistle scrums and chirping out there. And obviously you're going to get that playing the same team 2 days in a row too. But
Yeah.
it really was like a playoff like atmosphere.
It
And
wasn't. And did they end up out shooting us for the whole game? I felt like they
they
outshot us
did.
by quite a bit, I thought.
The Chiefs ended up so the Chiefs got outshot 17-6 in the first, 11-6 in the second, and then we outshot them 11-5 in the
Oh,
third, and
okay.
then 5-1 in
I
overtime.
knew we did in overtime. And tell you what, Hicks was incredible in overtime.
Hicks made some huge saves in overtime. I mean, especially in the last 30 seconds.
Yeah.
The Chiefs had a couple of grade A chances that he
Yeah.
shut down, and he definitely, bounced back from his shaky performance the game before.
Oh, absolutely.
And let's not count out Dawson Cowan making a 3-on-0 save with the butt end of his
Yeah.
stick too.
How do you get a
Um,
3-on-0?
yeah, I mean, just the Chiefs kind of in a little bit too deep trying to score,
Yeah.
and the puck bounced out, and they ended up breaking away with 3-0. Will McIsaac did hustle back and kind of got back toward the last second, but I don't
Yeah.
think he had any sort of effect on it. But
No.
according to Boiler, Cowan got it with the butt end of his stick and pushed it over the net. So again, another huge game-saving save from
Mm-hmm.
Cowan, coming up clutch in these moments, and it was so nice watching him have 2 back-to-back really solid games.
Yes.
I think that bodes well for him going forward into the playoffs too, because
Mm-hmm.
he had been a little bit shaky the last couple of weeks here and there, giving up a couple of goals that I'm sure he wouldn't want to give up. But I think those are some saves that he made in games
Mm-hmm.
that he knows that he can play that'll help boost his confidence too.
Oh, yeah.
Um, but yeah, just a great defensive goaltending battle.
And in the shootout, too, goalies were
Uh,
incredible, both of
Yeah,
them.
I mean back and forth in overtime, nobody could put the puck in the back of the net. We would go to the shootout. I think it was the Chiefs' third shootout this season. So let's see. I have the list down here of the shooters. So first shooter was Kenta Isagai for Victoria. Kind of came down expecting him to score just
He just
based off
flat
of
out
his reputation.
he flat out lost the puck. We were lucky.
He did, yeah. He made a nice move and lost the puck. Berkeley Catton came down on Johnny Hicks and missed. Caleb Matthews for Victoria came down and Cowan stopped it. And then Andrew Crystal coming down on Hicks made a really nice move
He
too,
did. Just couldn't lift it.
and just couldn't lift it. A really good save, kind of going against the grain,
Mm-hmm.
Johnny Hicks. Brandon Lazowski couldn't score for Victoria, so that sets up Shea Van Olm with a chance to win the game and get the Chiefs 2 points. And he buries it, makes no mistake. That's why he's the league's leading goal scorer.
Yeah,
Um,
very appropriate. I texted you and I said the league's leading goal scorer should score that goal, and he did.
Absolutely. And I'm fired up. I mean, I'm sitting in my apartment just going, fuck yeah, let's fuck I'm just fired up and making all my neighbors hate me. But
That's all right.
Chiefs pick up another huge 2 points um with Everett losing
Yeah.
against Prince George as well. So that puts the Chiefs at that point within seven. Within
Five.
5 points. And then obviously they had the overtime loss tonight, so they're up to 6 points ahead of
Mm-hmm.
us. But
Mm-hmm.
again, like I just said, we have those two games against them this Wednesday, and then I think we play them again Sunday here as
Mm-hmm.
well. So those are probably two of the biggest games of the year. And I'm really hoping to see, at least on Sunday, I have a really good crowd. Obviously, a weekday game is kind of hit or miss, but
Right.
with the team being good and it being the top two teams in the West, I could see it being a solid Wednesday night crowd this week.
Mm-hmm. It could be.
Um, but yeah, so two huge games. Uh, any final notes on that game?
No, that was just an incredible game to watch. I mean, I wasn't even a nail biter in my opinion. I wasn't nervous about it or anything too. I was just enjoying it. I mean, like
Oh,
I
me
said,
too.
both goalies were absolutely phenomenal.
Hmm.
So many chances for both teams too, and it just couldn't get it in the net. It's nice to see two hot goalies.
Definitely. And
Yeah,
also with that win, there we go. The Chiefs do pick up the season series win against Victoria too. So, as Boiler was talking about last night with the playoff seeding, the first two seeds go to the division leaders in each division.
correct.
And then in the second round, if those two teams, make it past or whatever, then whoever has the most points overall, or if they're tied, whoever wins the season series
Mm-hmm.
will get the home ice advantage. So, say we end up playing Victoria in the second round of the playoffs, we would get home ice,
Mm-hmm.
even though they're technically the second seed.
We're
We'll be the third seed, but we ended the season with more points. There's just because they're leading the BC division.
correct.
Um, so that's huge too. It's nice
Mm-hmm.
knowing that you have that over, and I feel like the Chiefs have that over a lot of teams.
Yeah,
Um,
we won a lot of
honestly,
series this year.
I gotta think that we have it over almost every team except for Tri-City. I don't think we've won the season series. I think we're tied right now.
I'm
I
not
think it
sure.
comes down to the final game against Tri-City, but yeah, I mean, we have it against Everett, we have it against Seattle, we have it against Portland,
Mm-hmm.
Vancouver, Kelowna, obviously Kamloops. I mean, just the Chiefs have just been really consistent all year,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
it's so fun to watch.
Yes, it is.
Um, but yeah, I mean, a huge 4 points picked up over the weekend coming into Wednesday here against Everett. So looking at the standings now, Everett sitting 94 points. Prince George and Victoria are tied for the second seed right now, the 82. Prince George kind of went on a little heater there for a
Yeah.
couple of weeks. I think they won six in a row or something like that. And then, but yeah, they lost to Vancouver tonight as well. So they're sitting with 82 points apiece. The Chiefs are sitting with 88, six back of Everett. Portland with 72. They did jump over Vancouver with those 2 points tonight. So Portland in fifth place with 72. Vancouver with 70. And Tri City down to seventh with 69 points. Nice. Um, and then Seattle with 55 points, just three ahead of Wenatchee. Wenatchee beat Tri City the other night too,
Mm-hmm.
in overtime. So a huge win for them. So it's going to be interesting to see who gets that final spot. I mean, it's still separating 6 points between Seattle and Kamloops. I mean, Kamloops could very well get hot and run and make their way into the
Yeah,
playoffs
you
too.
never know.
It's so tight, all kind of all around in the Western Conference. So really fun stuff. So yeah, like we were talking about, Andrew Crystal got that 400th career point, and then that's all I have recap wise.
I think we're both in agreement on our player of the week.
Oh, Rasmus Ekstrom, without a
Yeah.
doubt.
Yeah.
Just a great all-around performance from him, offensively being able to put the puck in the net, and just playing a really good all around 200-foot game. He really stood out to me. And then I'll throw in an honorable mention is putting Dawson Cowan in there too.
Yeah,
He stole us that game on Saturday.
I would have to agree with that. I would have
Yeah,
to agree with that.
I can't even argue that at all.
And how about for our news segment, bad call of the week? It goes to Trevor Nolan yesterday in that game. Thank goodness nothing ended up, making the game, an issue or anything too, because it ended up going into a shootout. But oh my God, he was so bad, especially in that second period.
Yeah, and I mean, and it's a tight game, and I understand, late in the third period, you don't want to call a penalty and kind
Oh,
of
I do
subside the
too.
momentum. However, there was a sequence with about, I don't know, 3 or 4 minutes left in the
Yes.
third period where Kelowna or Victoria took about 3 or 4 potential penalties,
Mm-hmm.
including Andrew Crystal had a breakaway and was taken down and nothing was
Mm-hmm.
called. I feel like that one should have been called,
Yeah.
but
I'm
they,
okay with him putting the whistle away and letting him play in a 1-1 game that's been good like that. I'm talking about the chintzy stuff he called in the first period and a half.
yeah, it
It's
was
like
pretty
it
questionable.
was like two different games. Call the chintzy stuff and then call nothing. We're not Trevor Nolan fans anyway, so
No, Trevor Nolan likes to make himself known out there, and he wants to be a part of the game and make his impact out there too, which is it happens with some referees here and there, but it seems
yeah.
pretty consistent with Nolan. Let's also talk about the linesman last night. Where yeah, I don't necessarily want to say like the offsides and icing calls are
No,
questionable, but God, they were so bad at dropping the puck.
that's what we discussed when we were watching. Yeah, drop the puck.
I
Just
mean,
drop the puck.
I noticed it probably a half a dozen times at least, where they're he's faking it and the players are going and he'll kick one of them out or
Yeah,
something too, and then like just sit there for like 15 seconds. It's like, dude, just drop the puck. We're not here to see you.
yeah,
You
exactly.
know, I don't understand that. I mean, I understand they have like a way that they have to do it properly for home team and whatever, but
I do too, and that's the only one close up that we saw that we commented on. Catton was in the circle, and he had his stick on the ice first, which the opposing team has to have.
right.
And three different times he's got his stick down in the ice waiting, and the other guy's waiting for him to drop the puck so he can put his stick down. And the guy just didn't drop the puck.
Hmm.
I mean, the Victoria guy was as frustrated as Catton was. It's like,
Well,
drop the puck.
and then on the third attempt when he finally did drop the puck, Cat and Stick wasn't even on the
No, not
ice.
even close. Exactly.
And it just dropped between his feet, and then he's just sitting there like, "What the hell?"
Yeah,
Like,
exactly. Yeah.
so that was I think that's right up there with Trevor Nolan. I mean, that whole officiating crew wasn't great, but
Yeah. No,
um,
it definitely didn't look good because they were happened to be zoomed in on that particular face off too.
yeah,
It made him look really bad.
yeah,
The linesman, that is.
yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So I wanted to say we have Ekstrom and Cowan, kind of our top guys of the week. Um, with Martin being out with injury now, and hopefully Smith Rebin not being out too long term. It looks like we could be running 11-7 for a couple of games here toward the
Mm-hmm.
end of the regular season. Hopefully, get Sam Oremba back sooner rather than later too. Some guy with playoff experience,
Mm-hmm.
with any Memorial Cup experience as well.
Exactly.
That'll be a huge key come the end of March, early April. But if we have to run 11-7, I don't mind seeing Caden Allen and Rhett Sather
Me
out there
either.
playing. Like I said, we've been saying for a couple of weeks, those two have really stood out with just their growth and their development as a player
Mm-hmm.
to me. Caden Allen looks really good out there. He looks so confident with the puck now, especially since he scored his first goal.
Yes.
And then Rhett Sather just looks like a veteran out there already too. There's a
Yep.
couple different times where I mistook Sather and Weinstein, just
Mm-hmm.
seeing the four in the jersey, and I'm just like, okay, I really like what I'm seeing here, and I think that that's going to be a guy that's going to be kind of a once he scores, I think it's going to start coming in waves for him too.
Mm-hmm.
I think
Mm-hmm.
he's going to be like a Braden Crampton offensive defenseman
Mm-hmm.
type. Um, in the next couple of years too, but really impressed with our defensive performance this weekend as
Yeah, me
opposed
too.
to, last week in Seattle. It was pretty abysmal with the unnecessary turnovers and everything, but I feel like all seven defensemen really played good 60-minute games, both games this weekend.
Agreed. Yeah. 100%.
Um, so that's all I got.
Nice. Do we want to reveal our team?
We should. I
We
think we
should.
should.
We
So last week we did our separate our own personal quarter century teams, but we decided to kind of
We
discuss
could,
one for the show itself.
yeah, we conferred and consolidated.
And let's see here. I haven't made the lineup card yet, so I won't reveal the lineup card. But
Okay.
we could talk about it. We have the goalies and the defensemen. We kind of revealed that. We
Mm-hmm.
have those set in stone. Let me pull that picture back up here. So let me do this. We were doing it earlier when we were testing it. Let me do the screen sharing thing here. So we got Adam Beckman, Berkeley Cat, and Kyler Yamamoto. Anderson, Dolan, Wall, Tyler Johnson, Holmberg, Bowman, Zumac, Berthelot, Cote, Ryan. And then, so what we're going to do is we decided that we're going to switch Haluka out
Yes.
with Levko Koper. I think after we talked about, reasoning behind that, I think Koper is definitely more of an all-time Chief than
Mm,
Haluka. I mean, Haluka didn't play his entire career here. He was great offensively when he did,
correct.
but Levko Koper played here for 5 years, and he made a huge impact on the ice, not just on the scoreboard, but just, as a leader and everything too.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely think that he deserves to be in the list, and I would almost even put him in on the fourth line over Berthelot, make Berthelot the extra attacker.
Yeah,
In all honesty,
I'm good with that. I think it would be very appropriate, actually.
yeah. But obviously we'll have the honorable mentions that we can just kind of throw out there. I won't put on anything, but we'll just throw out some names. Like we have Haluka, Mike Aviani,
Definitely.
uh, who were some of the other ones that we had?
I don't remember now.
Jesus, I
So
don't
we
either.
were talking about him. I remember because that was on a different list that we had.
Yeah, let me stop the share here. But yeah, so I think that's what we'll do, and I'll once we're done recording here, I'll go and make a lineup card and a lineup sheet for it. So
Nice. And just post that at the end of the pod.
yeah,
All right. We'll be curious to see what people think of our final list and
yeah, and let
everything
us
too.
let us know how you would do it differently and what your list would be too,
Yeah, I'd be curious to hear.
for sure. But yeah, that's kind of what we got for the quarter century team. I wanted to ask one more question. What do you think is going to happen in this next couple of games? How
I
how
think
are
that,
we going to come out Wednesday?
I think it's going to be more of the same.
I expect it to be a really tight, low scoring game.
I think we learned our lesson in the Seattle game last week, and I just expect the effort and the effort to be there and the mistakes to be cleaned up for a while. Not
Yeah,
saying we're not going to have another game like that somewhere down the road because that kind of stuff happens, but it's hard to be consistent every night. But I expect it to be a good game.
I do too. Um,
Although Everett's now without a player too.
yeah, without Carter Bear. Yeah,
Yeah,
that was a pretty scary looking injury there. And that he suffered an injury in that Portland game. I didn't see the instance where it
I
happened,
didn't
but
either.
the Portland announcer was talking about how it looked like a skate blade issue, but then they zoomed in on him, and you could tell that he's in some pain, but he actually did a really good job, I thought, of keeping calm.
He did.
Which was actually probably refreshing for not only himself, but probably his family who was watching the game too.
Yeah.
But they brought the ENTs out and the doctors and everything too with a stretcher because it seemed like that he got a laceration right around his ankle.
Right about the
And
top of
had
the skate. Yeah.
Yeah, and he actually did end up getting helped off of the ice without use of the stretcher, which was encouraging too. But yeah, they're Everett's leading goal scorer. Guy's got 40 plus goals this year.
Yeah.
That would be a huge loss for them. But they did get Austin Roos back last night and
Yes.
Yetnin back tonight too.
Yeah.
So one goes out, two more come back in. Obviously, they would like to have Carter Bear and uh,
Hopefully
obviously,
it's nothing long term.
I hope his injury is nothing too serious, but
Yeah.
I mean, it's scary stuff for sure.
Yeah. When they're having to scrape the ice afterwards and stuff, that's gross.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
Do not like to see that, especially with such a young, talented player too.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's going to be interesting to see how Everett comes out Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
Another Wednesday night in the dub, free game on YouTube as well.
Gotta like that.
So that's pretty cool. The Chiefs getting a lot of extra TV time this year.
Yeah.
Um, I think we got a fun little last week and a half of the regular season coming up here. Two games against Everett, Seattle, Tri-City. Who do we play Saturday here?
I can't remember.
Because I know we play, or maybe it's Friday. But I know we play Everett Wednesday and Sunday here. We play, let's see. Oh, Tri-City. So we play Tri-City twice,
Two more
Everett
times and never
twice,
twice.
and Seattle once. So
Yeah.
4 game homestand coming up here to end the regular season, and then the final game down in Tri-City on the 22nd. So 5 games left, 10 potential points for the Chiefs. Big games ahead. Look forward to playoffs.
Yes, sir.
But that's all I got this week, I think.
Nice pod again.
Yes, sir.
Be interested to see what feedback we get on our quarter century team.
Yeah, for sure. I'm
Yeah.
gonna go and kind of piece together a lineup card right now.
Can't
So
wait to see it.
you bet.
All
All right.
right.
Till
Till
next
next time.
week. Go Chiefs, go.